comes the time. The whole wide world will welcome the rising sun. Here comes the time for everyone to see that what will be, will be. This is the time for you and I to stand together as one. Yeah. They will know, they will know. The sun is rising from east to west, from north to south. Can't you see the sun is rising? Oh, you wave your flag and be proud of who you are. Because the sun is rising. We're shining so bright all over the world. We are the sun, we are rising. We spent our lives in pain and misery. Never gonna trade our freedom with any mystery. It's affecting our soul and it's killing us slow. With what we've been through, we are far from being good. But we are blessed by Chukwokika Biafra. So we're never gonna give up. We're never gonna give up. There'll be light in the wind of a tunnel. It will shine so bright all time. The whole wide world will embrace us. Nobody can stop us, nobody can cage us, nobody can stand us, yeah. They will know, they will know. The sun is rising from east to west, from north to south. Can't you see the sun is rising? Oh, you wave your flag and be proud of who you are. Because the sun is rising. We're shining sun, they will know, they will know. The sun is rising from east to west, from north to south. Can't you see the sun is rising? I still wave your flag all over the world. Because the sun is rising. I still be shining so bright all over the world. We are the sun, we are rising. They will know, they will know, they will know. Shine, the sun is rising. Oh, wave your flag anywhere you are. Yeah. Shine, the sun is rising. Oh, because the sun is rising. Freedom, freedom, yeah. Shine, the sun, we are rising.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, lovers of freedom. Good afternoon, Biafrans all over the world. I want to welcome you this afternoon to this wonderful program on BTV Europe. My name is Ikem Patrick DK. I know that many of you will be joining us. Like we anticipated yesterday, this program is supposed to hold by 6 p.m., but we came a bit earlier. But I think we passed that information around, and I believe that a lot of people got the message, and I believe that we'll all come together to be part of this wonderful program. As you join us, please share this program, link your friends, add your friends, and make sure that everybody join us, because we'll be having a wonderful personality, somebody who is at the top echelon of the Biafra restoration movement, who will be briefing us, who will be also educating us on certain things that we need to know in 2025, as long as Biafra struggle is concerned. We are transmitting from all our channels on YouTube, Twitter. We're also transmitting on our satellite channel. For those of you who have not downloaded your app, please do so you can as well watch BTV Euro from your application through the satellite channel. Thank you very much. I want to say welcome once again. I'll be reading your comments. For those who will be commenting, um, uh, especially from Facebook Live, Twitter, and on YouTube. We'll be reading out your comments. And in the course of the program as well, we'll be opening the line for our people to call in or ask their questions. I got my first comment from Ihuarulam Umuonyahu. That name is quite long, but I just have to try my best. Ụmụ onye ahụ. Yes, Ihuarula, you're welcome to the program. All hail Biafra. Continue to send in your comments. You can also bring in questions through the comment section because I know that not everybody might have that opportunity or privilege to call in when the lines are open. But I would be obliged as much to read out your questions or whatever concern you put across on the comment section. We are transmitting on IPOB Rapture Media Extension and the IPOB Rapture Media. Thank you very much for being part of this program. Make sure you share. I continue to reiterate. Yes, make sure you share. Zuzi Michael, Juzi Michael. Yes, thank you for that. We'll be bringing our wonderful Deputy Head of Directorate of State, Mazi Nzurumike, who will be joining us on this program live. We are happy to have him today. Mazi, good afternoon and welcome to the program.
Mazi, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much. So wonderful for having me. Ndewo Mazi.
Thank you very much.
My
Thank you
greetings
very
from
much.
Germany.
Yes, we can hear you absolutely loud and clear. And it's also my pleasure to have you. I would like
Yeah.
you to, yeah, because the program have already started. The program have already started. It's a program we all anticipated for over 4 weeks now. And a lot of our people have been waiting, hoping to be part of this program today. Though we are starting early, like I said earlier, which is not bad. We're able to put that information out there. And I'm happy that many of our people were able to get this information. Many people would want to hear from you, considering your position, because there are a lot of concerns. There are a lot of questions that people are asking. We know that you are not often and always in the media talking, but anytime we grab you, we make sure we grab you and run away with it. so, so, so it's an exciting moment, not just for me alone, but for Biafrans all over the world to see their head of Directorate of State today. We are already in February, and a lot of people have been, waiting to see people like you talk to them, and I believe they are also excited to have you today. Mazi, can you please give us a general introduction? Even though we know you don't need much of that introduction, but tell us your name, the position you occupy officially from you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Once again, thank you so much for having me. And let me also thank Biafrans for having me. Because they are so wonderful race. My name is Mazi Nzurumike. Uh, Tony is one of those borrowed names from our colonial masters. Um, yes, I happen to be a humble servant of the great people of indigenous people of Biafra in the capacity as the deputy head of the Directorate of State, a hallowed, non-violent movement established by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He is a great man in our life, in our life story. By the way, in generations to come, his name will continue to echo, and we must not forget always to make sure that we pray for our Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That we always will do what we need to do, and I'm using the opportunity to assure Biafrans worldwide and the friends of freedom and lovers of freedom that this very leadership under the auspices of the DOS is doing all it must do to make sure that our leader as soon as possible sees the light of the day. That means be freed, because actually he has been acquitted, but the power that be in the zoo has refused to let him go. But as Moses said to Pharaoh, let my people go, and they are going to let him go. Ndewo Mazi.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mazi. Thank you very much. We all know that at some point, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be set free because they hold nothing against him outside the fact that he's demanding for a referendum for Biafra people. If he under normal condition, we know that if Nigeria had anything against him, they wouldn't waste all this time trying to find evidence, trying to look for means, even through criminal proceedings, illegal means to prosecute him. But despite all those attempts, they have not been able to succeed in their attempt in finding something they can hold against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB. Every day they try to manufacture one story or the other. Even at some point, they have to produce somebody who could help them do the job of bringing violence and criminality into Biafra struggle. But today is part of our history. Mazi, there is this question I like to ask anybody who comes, especially within the ranks of the leadership. I find it very, very imperative that to ask this question because I know how difficult your job is, occupying position within the office of the Directorate of State with huge responsibility on your shoulders and putting that into consideration. I like to ask, as the Deputy Directorate of State, how has it been occupying that position? For you, how has it been occupying the position of the Deputy Directorate of State of the Indigenous People of Biafra?
Yes, Mazi, that that has been very spectacular. As a leader, you are always focusing on what matters, the priorities of the people of indigenous people of Biafra. We have a head of directorate of state whose table is full of a lot of issues that he has to take care of. And in IPOB, we have division of labor from top to down. And in my own capacity, I ensure the general and oversee of all coordinating units worldwide, from continental to the lowest units, and that brings with it some couple of challenges. Of course, it means I would always have to make sure that I remain vigilant at all times, be ready to respond to issues that matter, and to also make sure that all the coordinating units and affairs are running well and good. You will always have to receive calls on daily basis, on hourly basis sometimes. So sometimes you don't sleep, right? So because the work is not easy, we have to make sure that no stone is unturned. We have to make sure that all stones, uh, uh, you know, um, we make sure that everything is kicking. That's what I mean. That the ball remains rolling. Because no time will we make sure that anything is not going the way it's supposed to go. We make sure that everything is rolling the way it's supposed to roll. Otherwise, you are, opening the door to the enemies to somehow have their long fingers into what you're doing. So occupying that position is it brings some challenges with it, Mazi, and those challenges have been embraced because from onset we decided to come to do this job. It is called the self-determination of the people, and that means it's a job everybody should be ready to do. There's no crime in making sure that we are free, and that the call for self-determination is echoed worldwide. So, and we know that those that matter in the world, the power that be, the European Parliament, the United Nations, even the United States, even Russia. They are all enjoying what they're enjoying today because they scared through. And today they are having their self-determination practiced. And that is also the reason why they cherish this very movement. No matter what the zoo says or what Nigeria says or what anybody says, the world, community accepts the indigenous people of Biafra because they know we are non-violent, and that's the most important thing. If some people are committing violence somewhere, they are able to differentiate. Only in Nigeria, where they have problem differentiating between the indigenous people of Biafra as established by Mazi Nzurumike and riffraffs and criminals and rogues, including Boko Haram imported into our land. And you have non-state stakeholders or non-state actors who are also involved in all these criminalities, and they are not able to differentiate. But CIA can differentiate. Even the British MI6 can differentiate as well. The German, Secret Service can differentiate. That's why they allow us to be. They allow us to remain registered in their countries because they have a better objectivity, a better way to figure it out than the Nigerian state. And they have figured it out and say, you know what, these people are really non-violent people. They know what happens on the ground, they know who is who. And so we are doing what we're doing today because we're also emboldened because we know that what we're doing is right, Maz. And
Thank you very much. Mazi, I know, like you said, I would definitely come to that point because when we talk about differentiation, I believe um, we need to do a little elaboration because why I said so is that I can tell you specifically that the Nigerian state knows that IPOB is not violent, but the attempt to criminalize Biafra struggle is a worked out program because it is a battle between light and darkness. And I believe that personally, which is, of course, the opinion of every Biafran, that the attempt to criminalize Biafra struggle is a well thought out plan to find a way to defeat the struggle. So it's not like the Nigerian government doesn't know, but I think that the criminalization, the attempt to criminalize Biafra struggle is something done on purpose to portray IPOB to the world as a criminal entity or a criminal organization. I don't know if you share the same perspective.
yes, yes, Maz, absolutely right, absolutely on point. Because we've been figured out. Why? Because of the quality in us. An average Biafran is a natural scientist. An average Biafran is a natural scientist. He is a natural mathematician. And they have figured it out, including the Britain. If Britain had allowed us to move on our own, we would have surpassed Britain today. And that's what they don't want. But that time is still coming. I saw somewhere Amoteku individuals roaming around in their uniform in Abuja. Amoteku is a security outfit put out by the people of Western region of Nigeria, and they want these people to protect their people against the mayhem going on all over the Nigerian state, um, especially in their own, territory. And why is it that ESN, for example, will be demonized, and even IPOB as a whole be demonized, when they indeed know that the IPOB that they know quite all right poses no challenges to their political interests or whatever they are doing. What Mazi Nzurumike has been doing and all the indigenous people of Biafra in the movement have been doing is to keep talking and exposing the threats against our people, telling the world about our plights and demanding for simple self-determination, nothing more than that. And for folks like governors to actually be pioneers to that very evil effort, is disgraceful. It is disgraceful to have governors in Alibo who had seen or have been seen in the past what their counterparts in the north have been doing. They know that in the north they have transaction with their extremists, but we are not to be compared to those. We are civilized and we are civil in all our approaches. But at least you have Arewa group overseeing the militants in the north, and nothing happens. And then our governors to say have been seeing all these things. They have not one day spoken against it or demanded a stop to what is happening in the north, knowing that these are the same people who come to our land to kill and pillage and cause mayhem. They have not demanded a stop to it. But the first thing they could do was to gather together to proscribe IPOB illegally. Illegally. And that goes to the point you are making, that we are being spotted out wrongfully. Unfortunately, this was started by our own people. The so-called governors normally who are there to protect lives and properties, they are not doing that. They have left the field for the Normans from all over Africa, from Niger Republic, from Mali, from Senegal, from the valleys of the Futajalon mountain, coming into the zoo or Nigeria and causing mayhem, killings, and all that. We have seen what happened or what transpired just a couple of days ago in Anyoma, in Okwani, in Anyocha, in all those places. We have seen what is happening because they definitely want to force people out of their home and their homelands and their villages and their huts and take over. And we are saying that indigenous people of Biafra is not going to let it happen. Simple as that. It's our right to protect our people. Both those, it doesn't matter what you do as a profession. It is your duty to protect yourself. Protection of self is enshrined in the zoo constitution as well. You have to be able to protect yourself, especially if the state cannot protect you. And to create an expansion on that, we can refer to the Amoteku I just referred to just shortly. Amoteku has been created by, in fact, the governors of the western part of the Nigerian state. They did that because maybe they don't trust the police anymore, and they said they need a kind of outfit to do the job. So what is the difference having Amoteku and having ESN meant to do the same thing? The ESN we know has never gone against any, not even foreigners in our land, except the herdsmen who are killing and pillaging and maiming women in the farmlands. They go after them and chase them out of our bushes. That is all. They have nothing to do in the cities as we speak. Up to now, as we speak, our cities have been left in the hands of the governors and the apparatus, police or whatever, to take care of lives and properties. And we all know they have failed. They have failed even in the cities. But nevertheless, indigenous people of Biafra is never going to deploy or ask the ESN, who are meant to be in the bushes to protect lives and properties, to protect farmlands, to come to the city. No, that was not how Mazi Nzurumike Kanu created it. That was not how he did it. And this very leadership is not going to do otherwise. As simple as that. So we have to differentiate those of them who are causing, criminalities, who are involved in criminalities in Biafra land, and causing some sort of havoc. We have to differentiate them from the people of Biafra or from the ESN, by the way, because ESN has no business. In fact, one of their core value is not to touch. Even to get rid of a human being is a taboo. They don't have to do that. In IPOB, we have learned what is the real definition of human being. And the real definition of human being is expressed in our language. And it is also expressed in the nomenclature attached to that human being, which we call in our vernacular, in our own local language, mado, meaning beauty of life. Who will see something that is beautiful and go to destroy it? Who will do that? The ESN, members of ESN, they understand that. They have been tutored long ago that life is beautiful because God creates what is beautiful. And we cannot, no human being actually, can recreate a human being. The most you can do is to destroy a human life, but you cannot create it. So if you cannot create it, why do you think you have the audacity or you have the right to go and destroy? Sometimes people destroy stuffs. You can bulldozer a house and rebuild a house. But you cannot bulldozer a human being and rebuild a human being. It's not possible. And because of this, ESN does not kill human beings, does not kill, not even foreigners in our land. They don't kill nobody. It's a taboo. They don't do that. And we thank God these people have been not only, I think inside them, they believe they don't have to do that. How much more somebody telling them to do? So we need to differentiate and call a spade a spade. We know there are state actors and non-state actors in our land. Non-state actors include hired mercenaries to go after ordinary Biafrans. They are killing them, pillaging them, causing mayhem, and harvesting their organs. These are happening in the eyes of everybody, including the governors. They know what is happening. My worry is that they are only sitting there thinking their job is to come and sit in the office, steal as much as they can steal. When election comes, send their thugs to go after their opponents, then carry the ballot, win the election, come back again, and overlook their, priorities in the land, which is safeguarding lives and properties. Folks are working for over years and nobody is paying them. Pensions are not being paid. Gratuities are not being paid. People will work for months and they're asked to wait after 6 months. They'll get a little bit, some percentage of their salary. And you are telling them not to go and become criminals. People are hungry. I saw the other picture the other day. We are beginning to have kwashoko children in our land because of hunger. And these people are having parents who are working hard and nobody is paying them. Some of them have right to their pension and nobody is paying their pension. And the governor will sit somewhere, have a private jet, send his children abroad, have a lot of properties overseas, and they are doing this without conscience and complete impunity. And we call it evil, and that's what it is. Evil is what it is. And you cannot, that is why you think you can prescribe IPOB. IPOB speaks for the people. IPOB is the eye and the mouth of the people.
Mazi, I think
Because,
we have to come to that angle of prescription, so that
okay,
we'll be able to take the questions bit by bit. Because for me, it's very very important, and for our audience as well, so that we don't have to, envelop the whole discourse in just one content.
all right,
Yes,
yes,
yes. So we're going to take it bit by bit. sequence,
Okay.
sequentially, so that it will also give our people the understanding. They will be able to build a structure around our discussion. Very, very important.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
we'll be coming to the proscription of illegal proscription. we just have to mark it down. We
Yes.
in the broadcast of the head of Directorate of State, Mazi Ikem, there is something he mentioned, and very, very important, about strengthening the internal structures of IPOB. Um, I picked that point because for me, it's important that we elaborate, make our people understand what it means when he said that in 2025 that internal structures of IPOB will be strengthened and restructured. Can you give our people a clearer picture of what it means? Because so many people
Yeah.
believe that DOS are not working, that they are not doing anything. So that is why it's very, very important that we put some of these discussions on the table so that our people will understand the job that the DOS are doing and how they intend to move forward in achieving their goals.
Yes, Mazi, thank you for that question. I will use first of all this opportunity to um, implore, to our people that we know a whole lot of people have formed the habit of maybe judging excellence by what they see. And not only has Mazi Kanu warned about this, but we at the leadership have also, from one time or the other, also warned that not everything in a struggle is divulged on the table for the publicity. We must understand that. We are not a Berima that will come and deceive people by raising hand and dancing, agaba and all this masquerade dance, and wear whatever he does and display whatever skill he does. And then you see, vision. The vision is something, when you depict with your eyes, you think what you see is what it is. But what you see is not what it is. That's why um, we saw what we saw coming from that angle. You don't need to expect this leadership to come and be ranting. That would be disingenuous. That will not be doing you any good service. What matters is honesty, and what matters is hard working. These very leaderships have been very, very industrious, I must tell you. But like I said, it's a struggle. Until people understand that this is a struggle, the better for them. We are not in a wine club, neither are we, somehow under any umbrella of People's Club. We are in a pure struggle, a struggle to make sure that our people are free. And that entails or would entail a whole lot of principles to follow. It will, entail so many undertakings because those who are holding us tight. I'm not only talking about Nigeria, but I'm also talking about some people who have interest in our land. If our land had been dry and empty of natural resources, I am sure for long would have been gone. Would have been gone our way. But there are folks who want to also make sure that their people are living. The development of the northern part of Nigeria had always depended on what they can take from our land. They have been taken and been siphoning to an extent that they started building a pipeline from a neglected region of the country, so-called contraption, to now give the gases and the oil to, foreigners, people who are not even, somehow Nigerians. They wanted not to have the oil to their cousins in Niger Republic, to their cousins, the Arab cousins in the northern Nigeria, and eventually to Europe for sale. We remember that the same Buhari went there to go and build a national, what do you call, petroleum
The
industry for them.
railway line.
He said,
And to build railway line in Niger Republic. But
a
Mazi,
very solid one.
yes, you see, Mazi, listen, just hold on. Because the other time, I think just a week ago, I was listening to the foreign minister, the Nigerian foreign minister, how he described specifically how oil pipeline moved from Imo State. He was specific about it down
Yes,
to Niger Republic in the direction of Morocco that will
yes,
supply gas to Europe. And
exactly.
in his narration, he talked about how the countries where these pipelines are also going to benefit from the pipeline that went through these countries, which means
Yes,
the pipeline that initiated from Imo State to Niger
yes,
Republic, Niger is also going
yes,
to take the tax because that pipeline
yes,
went through Niger Republic.
absolutely,
So why the people of
absolutely,
Imo State, who are the original owners of the oil, are not benefiting from this project?
exactly. And that is the evil we're talking about, Mazi. And for anybody whatsoever to tell you that you should keep your mouth shut and say nothing and demand for nothing, that person must be hallucinating. The reason is because, like I said, our people are dying of kwashoko now as we speak. It's a serious matter. It's a serious matter. The older ones are also dying of just simple diseases. Any little ailment is claiming them. Every day obituary. Every day obituary. It was not like this before. People are dying of simple diseases, things that are not even a big deal. It's because they are not eating well. They are lacking the necessary vitamin to boost their immunity. Because your natural immunity is there to protect you, but if you're not feeding well, you can't be protected. Your immunity is weak. Any little disease takes you down. And that is a way of also reducing our population. It is well calculated, and it is well orchestrated by all the powers that be. If they cannot come, they feel that the gun is not reducing you guys enough, they impoverish you. The marginalization has doubled, has quadrupled to an extent that, in fact, people who normally wouldn't be, running into criminality are now involved in criminality. And then when they go about stealing loaves of bread, they are gunned down, or they are killed, or they are even burnt alive. We all must have this thing in our understand. We must comprehend actually what the enemy is doing to our people. And our people must understand this and be slow to killing their own for any slightest offense. And in order not to digress too much further, let me go back to what you were saying, because I just wanted people to understand that this leadership is doing what it takes and what it has to do. And that is why our HOD made that pronouncement he did last time. The idea of strengthening is to make sure that the certain challenges or the temptations that do occur, spontaneously sometimes, that we find a way to checkmate such, occurrences. And that is to make sure that we strengthen our family foundations. If you strengthen your family foundations, though there will be people who might not understand or will not willing to be part of that, but then they are free to, find their way. But we have to make sure that our approaches are more stringent, and that is what our leader, Mazi Doziem, HOD, was talking about. You have to strengthen the structure. You have to make sure that the lattice is solid, and you have to make sure that what is our modus operandi is operational. That means the chain of command must remain, very, very solid. Communication gap must not be there. We have to make sure we eliminate the gap. We have to also ensure the respect of jurisdiction of people who are doing what they're supposed to do, because we have division of labor. And that is to also ensure efficacy in what they do. And that is why he was talking about strengthening the very lattice, the very walls of the or backbone of the very struggle. We have to strengthen it in so many ways to make sure that we also keep the enemies at bay. And that will also include ensuring some educational programs for our coordinators. Some of them who actually maybe came recently and were not schooled by the University of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because if you were schooled under him, you really learn something. And we have some coordinators these days who probably came recently and haven't learned much. So they need to be educated in terms of modus operandi and what it takes to have the coordinating units running. So I think that was what Mazi Edoziem was making reference to. Ndewo.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very, very important that our people are given the necessary training, especially those occupying positions, because we've seen in the past how certain coordinators abandoned their duty post and followed a stranger and ran into the bush because they didn't understand the uh, the responsibility before them. They
Yes.
started singing a different song. Many
Yes.
people started complaining about being confused, probably because they are not grounded in the job they are employed to do. So it is quite
Exactly.
understandable. And I've also been an advocate of regular, training, regular reinforcement. You work in an institution, and you know how regular it is to get updated on your job, responsibilities to keep you up, considering
Yes.
the fact that on a daily basis things are changing. Today we live
Yes.
in a world where the artificial intelligence is taking the place of human. If you are not updated
Exactly.
in that direction, you'll never be able to meet up with the trend of events. You'll be left behind.
Absolutely.
I believe
Absolutely.
that IPOB also, like you said, have to live up to that objectivity to be able to move with the time. Today we are talking about diplomatic moves, trying to get in touch with countries, trying to build relationships. How do you build relationship when you are not in tune with the world, with activities of the world order? Yesterday we had Mazi Samori in his broadcast made a very clear case on how the world order is changing and how the neighbors in the Sahel are beginning to pick their pieces, how they are beginning to put their acts together, how they are beginning to put their houses in order to be able to
Hmm.
take their destinies in their hands.
Hmm.
And it brings the question on the table: how are the leadership of IPOB, from your position as the Deputy Directorate of State, putting effort in making sure that you build relationship with our neighbors around us? Considering the fact that we now have neighbors who have come to terms with the reality that they can no longer, that things can no longer remain the same. And we've seen many of them pulling out of the African Union. What are the leadership doing in cultivating relationship with these countries?
Yes, Mazi, you are on spot. The colonial parties and their jamborees are falling apart. Things are changing, like you said, absolutely, and I hope our people are noticing that. The empires that be are falling apart and they are dissolving completely, and new ones are springing up. And that is why you see what you see in Sahel, the developments there, the Tawari and the likes of him in the Sahel region. You also see it in other continents. In South America, there are new alliances being built up. Some of them are echoing very hard and standing firm and standing tall to defend their interests. The certain alliances like BRICS are growing and growing and more growing up, and they are really getting enlarged to an extent that they're becoming even a threat to the power that be or the empire that be today. So things are unfolding, Mazi, and of course, like you asked me, I have told you as many things are not being divulged on the table, but I can assure you that all efforts are being made, and all necessary ingredients that have to be in place are being put in place. We have made our efforts even in the past before Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's incarceration, the first incarceration, the second one. We're making effort. Like Rome is not built in a day. Some of these countries they need time. Some of these powers, institutions outside there, they need time. They need time to adjust themselves. They need time to respond to our plight, because unfortunately, most of these powers that we're talking about also have bridges built with Nigeria. Some of them have something they're gaining, and to be very honest with you, what are they gaining? They're gaining the same resources from our land. From I don't like to use the term states, because states, the word states that was introduced in Nigeria, it's a scam, right? It's a scam, because you now see what they're doing. They'll see a rich region in Imo State, carve it into River State. They see the one in River State, carve into Kogi. They see the one in Anambra, carve it into Kogi, and all that and all that. So just to make sure that at the end they can go with the state structure and say, well, this is what this state brings on the table, and therefore we give this state this. This is what this state brings on the table, and therefore we give this state this. So the states that are naturally empty are being, you know, given gifts, unnatural gifts for that matter, carved out of other natural environment into them for them to now to be viable. So for me, Nigeria state system is a scam, and I hope the so-called leaders or political leaders in our own region are beginning to realize that. So this leadership is making all the necessary effort, but of course, it is not going on without challenges. Like I said to you, most of these people you go to meet or you have interaction with will tell you that, you know what, we genuinely believe your right to self-determination. We also genuinely believe you should be free, and we really want to do something about it. And but give us time, or something of that nature. So there are so many things that are involved when it comes to trying to build bridges. But are we building the bridges we're supposed to build? Yes, we are building the bridges. But we want to assure our people that we are approaching this movement and this effort with honesty. Nobody is claiming to be a saint, but honesty is also key. Why? What would it benefit us to come and deceive people and say, "Hey, Biafra is coming in summer. We have this and that. We have this and that. We have big ships at the coastal line, and we have mighty aircraft flying all over. This nonsense now. It's childish. This leadership is made up of grown-up people, professionals, and very honest people, I must say. And we don't believe in bamboozling our people for no reason, because when you begin to deceive people, they will now differentiate what is what. You tell them tomorrow to do this, and then if it happened that the one you told them last was a lie, then you're discouraging them from following your instructions.
And
So
apart
we
from
want
that,
to make sure that
you are going to need more lies to be able to cover the old lies in the first.
exactly, exactly. So all we're telling our people is we need patience. Everybody must exercise patience. We are getting there. We are in fact closer to where we're heading to than yesterday. We are closer to where we're getting to than yesterday. And that is a thing of joy. And that is a motivation. And that is what should encourage everybody to stand their ground and always listen to BTV, listen to Radio Biafra, listen to the mouthpiece of this very struggle, which is the DOS. And nobody in DOS will ever come and deceive you for any reason. God forbid, if we figure out anybody of that nature, that person will not be part of this very DOS or the leadership, because we must remain accurate and honest at all times. It is that does not mean we are perfect, but at least what you owe to your people is honesty. It's very, very important, so that people can take you for what you say. Take your word for what it is. You understand? You can come and tell people, hey, you know what? Based on our effort, Biafra is around the corner, like August, and then they prepare for you to now declare it, and then begin to tell them nonsense. How many times have they seen that movie? It had been happening. It happened a couple of years back. As soon as Onye Nduma's Nnamdi Kanu was, renditioned, people from different angles started promising our people different nonsense. And of course, those of them who were gullible fell for it. Today, they have all regretted. Today, they have come. Some of them actually have come back to their senses, realizing that they were truly bamboozled. And I hope they will not fall for it again. Thank you, Mazi.
Thank you very much, Mazi. The line is open anyway for those who want to call in. The number is WhatsApp +39, and I believe many of you are conversant with this number +39 388 177 That is the number on the screen for those who want to call in to ask questions. I know that many would want to call in, and I would also like to read out from the comment section as we proceed. Many people are dropping their questions on the comment section. Mazi, we saw a few days ago the court in Abuja reaffirmed the proscription of IPOB as a terrorist organization, laughably. Uh, and to some extent, some of us were concerned because we know that all the effort.
Mazi, your line seems to be breaking.
Back. Yes, Mazi, I don't know. Yes, I know that Mazi Chinas and Wolu made some clarifications in that regard yesterday. But what is the position of the Directorate of State, the leadership of IPOB, in the light of this development of the reaffirmation of IPOB by the Nigerian court as a terrorist organization?
Yes, Mazi, we have a natural approach. We have a natural approach, and that is to say, if you are not a criminal and somebody tags you a criminal, you will not buy it. So our message to our people is first and foremost, not to slumber. We want to let them not to lose hope. We want everybody to stand firm and understand that your enemies cannot tell you who you are. Our people are not terrorists. If IPOB had been terrorists, the number one that will have depicted that are those advanced countries who do have what it takes, the forensic abilities, the high power lenses that can pierce through any documentation or any corner of internet. By the way, who's running internet? Is it not the white people who have the monopoly of them, or is it not the white people? And IPOB is much more in white people's land, domiciled. And the white people have gone through IPOB and have discovered that they are peaceful people who are only acting for self-determination. They follow IPOB down to Biafra land, and even the same white people are able to differentiate between the indigenous people of Biafra and other elements of criminalities. They are able to see that there are those of them who are non-state actors who are involved, including state actors who are involved in criminalities in our land. In fact, some of them are sponsored by the state themselves. What is a bubago? What does a bubago mean to anybody? Was it not put together by governors and are being used by governors? Is that not a state actor by definition? And you cannot eliminate their own part of atrocities in our land. They have pillaged, they have killed, and they have maimed people. Then they go and hire machineries of Asari Dokubo. That one too is fond of collecting contracts. And he will be bragging how he sent his boys to Imo State and kill. He talks about how he sent them to Okigwe and Olu. He talks about how he sends them to Abia State. He talks about, I think recently, they are also in Anambra. So these are non-state actors better working with the state. What is their job? Killing our people mercilessly because they have no connection with our people. They have no connection because they don't feel these are their own. Then you have those of them imported from the north, the Sahel region, the Boko Haram, the ISIS, are sent down to kill anyhow they want, harvesting the organs of innocent people. When you begin to see police and army picking people from the street, you see ordinary young 14 years old, 15 years old, 16 years old going about their business. They are picked up and targeted, either ESN or whatever. And as if, look, if the Nigerian government will understand what ESN is all about, I think they will appreciate ESN. I think they will say ESN if they are honest. Let me tell you the real truth. If they are honest, they will start saying, you know what, we appreciate you guys for good job you're doing. If the governors in our region would be very honest, they will appreciate ESN because ESN is not costing them headache. In fact, ESN is doing some of the jobs they're supposed to do to protect lives and properties, at least agricultural properties. These are being covered and protected by the ESN. Our women, as soon as ESN came, our women were no longer being raped as much as before. Corpses are not being picked in the bushes. Before you just go into a bush and you see 10 people, 50 people lying dead people, innocent people in villages slaughtered. Before, you see them anyhow.
That's true.
But ESN, since the emergence of ESN, we now have less and less and less casualties and people being killed and slaughtered or victims. So they should tell themselves the truth. We have unfortunately, only criminals who have come to rule our region from A to Z, apart from, I think the last one stopped with Mbakwe, and maybe one more that came after him. The rest have been only criminals coming to rule and run. They rule, they pillage, they steal, and then they loot, and then they run. Where is Obiano today?
I will see Rotimi Amechi confirm that
Yes,
in one of the town
yes.
hall where he also said that the day politicians are not here to give the people a good life or a better life, but to
And
pillage.
that's a confirmation.
Yes, and they are ready to do anything to remain in power. Now we have
Absolutely.
a caller. We have a caller. Caller, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mazi Ikem Wachineke, and Deputy Head of Directorate of State. The voice you are hearing, the voice of the Pele Sokija Biafra man. Mazi Patrick, I hope I'm coming out clear.
100%,
Yeah.
and I think the audience are listening.
Okay. Mazi Tony Nzurumike, there you see.
They were watching.
Yeah, I have two questions to ask. And number one, Oyisi, there is people who are blackmailing principal officers of IPOB, like DOS, they blackmail them indirect, not direct, and those who are busy blackmailing national coordinator who are working seriously, doing the needful. What will be the punishment of these people? And if, for example, the very person that is blackmailing national coordinator, he has never been a member of IPOB, a particular lady who has never been a member of IPOB, but we welcome the idea, what he's doing for IPOB. But Mazi Nzurumike cannot say on his broadcast that IPOB family is the key. And if somebody who has never been a member of IPOB is coming out, throwing insult on national coordinators, even some days ago, coming on air after like 4 months, say that the IPOB media have gone silent, that since he left, he is not talking about Biafra, the media is silent. What will be the punishment of these people who are known to be doing this, coming out on daily basis, say that probably IPOB will be dissolved by their words, that IPOB is nowhere to be found? What will be the punishment of these people? And you see, I remember last time you see Mazi Nzurumike, I tried to reach out to you, but because of this situation, you never responded. So, you see, what will be the punishment of people who are known to be deceiving people on media, blackmailing leadership in one way or the other, and those attacking national coordinators who are in the platform that have been given to them by the leadership to control people, and people refuse to be controlled? They said they are busy throwing words on daily basis on these people who are in charge of the platform, which they belong before, and they exit the group by themselves. So what would be their punishment?
Mazi, I think you have really spent quality time with your question. And yes, you have. I think you've spent over 3 minutes continuously repeating the question. I want to appreciate you for that. But I think that if these are internal issues of IPOB, I don't think it's something we can handle on this program. Because yes, I don't think it's something we can handle on this program, so that we will not deviate from our purpose of being here.
Okay, let me finish with my last question.
Okay, go ahead. You have just 60 seconds, please, Mazi.
Okay. I will be fast on this one very well. My last question is about somebody like Asari Dokubo coming on air, say that he has massacred Biafrans, that our people are, dying woto in the hand of his boys and the Fulani herdsmen and the Bubago. That is my last question. There will Mazi Patrick.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Mazi, I don't know if you love that question.
I don't know if that was a question or a comment.
Yes. I don't know, because I also wanted us to some extent with the issue of insecurity, where crimes are being committed, and the blame is put on IPOB and the ESN. But I don't think we're going to have the time to deal with all the issues together.
Yeah. Yes. In fact, I don't know if I'm being heard though. Um, Otherwise, what I want to make a reference to the uh,
yes,
first
just
thing the young man said. Mazi, I think you are back.
yes,
Let me
I'm
just make
back.
very short one. You made mention of internal issues when it comes to the question that guy rose. What I want to say is that yes, I don't want to go deep into that and spend time on that, his question was also valid. But I will say, I think it's time for some of our media personnel to stop the squabbles. I think it's time for them to, come together. Anybody who is serious about this very struggle and who is here for anything good can never waste one, will I say, half a day, still nursing evil feelings against his fellow media or any comrade for that matter. I think by the time it is already half a day, you should have already gone back what I call it, your senses, gone back to yourself, and be able to sit down with your brother and say, you know what, sort your differences even before it goes out of hand. Unfortunately, that has not been the case. I will only, appeal to all of them, whoever they are, man or woman, a boy or girl, to make sure that they sort out their differences within themselves and do not let their dirty linen washed in the public. That is very, very embarrassing. And of course, he talked about principal officers like a national coordinator being attacked and all that. That is also not supposed to happen. People must accord their superiors with respect. If there's anything you think your senior is doing that is wrong, you have the appropriate channel to forward your complaints. We have the superior to that person you're dealing with. You can forward your complaints to that person. We also have the CRC where you can forward your channel, or where you can channel, sorry, your complaints, and they have your problem resolved. There is no need going about having a public, squabbles and attacks and all that, making fun of yourselves. I think it does nobody any good service. So,
Mazi,
Maz,
For me, I think it's important that our people understand how to deal with certain issues in the media and how
yes,
to pay attention to issues that are relevant and pay less attention to issues that are not relevant.
yes,
It is very, very important that our people understand how to streamline conversations, how to streamline information,
yeah,
and how to manage people's attitude in the media. Because the media is so huge
it's huge.
that yeah, the media is so huge that there are lots and lots of information that will help you as an individual or help IPOB as an organization that you have to take advantage of. Now, if you have informations that are relevant to you, why should you leave relevant information and be pursuing irrelevant information? I think it is a question of being discretional, understanding that the media is so huge. that you have to pick what is necessary and leave what is unnecessary. I think that that brings answer
Yeah,
to some of these questions
absolutely.
as far as I'm concerned. Uh,
Absolutely.
yes, I think we have another caller. Let's see if we
Okay.
can take caller. Yes, hello caller, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mazi Ikem. I greet you, my deputy HOD. My name is Mazi for Asha. Mazi, from your response, you have already touchlined the question that I really want to ask when it comes to the media aspect. Let me just say it as a suggestion, or because what I myself have been thinking is most of all this character and attitude is of political education and being political ignorant, which is one of the reasons why a lot of things will be happening. We una boko ayabidoshuwazi okay. So Mazi Pat, you touched on that very aspect, which I wanted to ask question. So let me throw a question. Mazi, is there anywhere in which the leadership can make out a portal whereby we can be able to access historical book in a way of PDF, because it will really help us and it will really guide a lot of our people to have knowledge of history, especially those historical books that related to us as a people, which can also help us to, build us up and give us a sense of direction on what we are fighting for. I don't know if there is a way the leadership, or if the leadership is making any avenue to have something like, so that we can be able to go there our archive to get any kind of historical book that we need to enhance our knowledge, to give us a sense of direction on this very particular struggle. Then, secondly, is a kind of a reminder. I listened to one of Mazi Nzurumike Kanu broadcast 2021, where he mentioned about exposing Nigeria government to the whole world, and he referred then on that very program. I want to remember that program date. He referred that very soon as we as we launch our BTV, that we are going to be showcasing the whole world, the activities of police. Maybe some people who are listening to me now can remember that program. So I don't know if there's a way we can be able to start doing this, because a lot of things happening in our land today, if we put it on our various platforms, the Facebook will not allow it. So I don't know if our television has the capacity to televise the atrocity and the evil they are committing in our land, so that the whole world will see. Maka asị n'onye Igbo that na ọkụkọ na-ebu abụrụ na ihe ji nwe ya ka ọha ya ala ọkụ ụwa nụrụ onu ya. So this is where I will bring it. Thank you so much, Mazi.
All right. Thank you so much. And your question is also valid. Mazi Ikem, do you want to come up first, or?
Well, I would give you the opportunity to
Okay.
respond.
Okay. My response is, I think, is based on my own personal opinion. I think his question is very valid in terms of the historical books or pamphlets or whatever. I think he's talking about an informative book, a compact that can be developed, that entails the history of Biafra, the plight of our people from from days immemorial to current times, and probably how things have been developing or escalating, as the case may be. And such a book, of course, will require being updated from time to time. It's not a bad idea. I know there's so many books out there. If you go to If you go to Amazon, if you go to other platforms, one can acquire different kind of books for information. Of course, some of them are not adequately made, but if IPOB will consider that, I think it will not be bad to have our own kind of compact but full of information. Have it done and well updated. And maybe as time goes on, we'll always get updated and will be made available for our members to buy and read, not buy and dump somewhere, but to read. Because if you don't read, you don't acquire any information. When our Mazi Kanu used to be around, I think he spent a lot of time educating, just lecturing. So you could listen then and comprehend. Um, he had a lot of time doing that. Basically, that was what he did. But sometimes, if you don't, if that's there's an absence of that, what you can do is to also lay hands on such kind of provisions and inform yourselves. So I think it's valid. And the other one he was talking about. Um, that BTV be showcasing what is happening. I think I don't know, Mazi Ikem, you guys will know better. Like events happening today in Anyoma and other places in Alibo as well, other places in our region. Atrocities being committed by these people. I don't know if how the media actually is being how everything is being done, how is being organized, whether
Mazi,
you have the windows of opportunity to be showing the public such things.
yeah, Mazi, you know that most of the information we get is not just information that comes to you and you just go out there to publish them without
Yeah.
adequate verifications, because there
Hmm.
are lots and lots of fake news out there. Uh,
Yes, absolutely.
so where you have situation where, for example, what happened recently in Umunede, uh,
Yes.
where we saw children running on the street, and the person recording this information was running the analysis in his car. All we had were things he was saying. We will not be able to see practical evidence of this incident. So it could just be that a different event is happening and somebody is giving a different analysis. I'm not trying to counter that event, but I'm giving an example
Hmm.
of, yes.
Okay. Uh,
Yes, so it's very,
Ma-
very important for us that at every point in time, the BTV crew, uh, have that ability to give us a first-hand information
exactly.
of events, not just information where you see bloggers throwing in, videos, and because at the end of the day, the story could turn out to be something different, and if we
Yeah.
publish them on BTV, then you continue to have the issue of credibility.
Yes.
So yes, so it is very, very important that our people understand that yes, there are a lot of news flying out there, but we have to vet every information, every news before we bring them to the consumption of our people. Very, very important.
Yes. Yes. I think what one can do is to ensure that our crew on the ground are also mobilized where necessary. As much as is they can to go to areas of action and pick up pieces of information themselves, report it live, or report it even if it is aftermath of the actions.
Yes, because we cannot operate like the normal zoo uh,
No, no, no,
uh,
no,
news outlet that sit in
no.
their studios without carrying out any journalist
No.
investigation.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Mhm.
so it's very, very, very important that our people
BTV is more sophisticated. BTV
understand.
is more professional. Also, if we have folks on the ground who can really go in there and say this is what they are seeing, this and interview people around, and have the account of the people being presented, I think that would be okay. Of course, I think Mazi that asked the question, I think it's all right. Your question is valid, and I think the answer is also adequate enough. We are going to make sure that we improve on that, of course. Thank you so much. Any other question, Mazi? I cannot hear you, Mazi.
Okay, yes, we have a caller on the line.
Hmm.
Hello, caller. Welcome to the program. You have just 2 minutes.
Yeah, we need to be
Yes,
snappy. Give it
and,
1 minute.
Yes,
good evening.
just a minute. Go ahead, please. We'll be rounding up
Good
now.
evening, Mazi Ikem, and also good evening to the Deputy HOD, and also to the good evening, wonderful people of Biafra. My name is Mazi Ikem Joseph. I am calling from India. My contribution to this program is I want to I kind of make a request uh, to our leadership. If is it possible um, for the leadership to kind of organize something like a leadership retreat that will bring principal officers maybe once in a while, that will bring principal officers together maybe once in a while in each continent, to have something like a leadership retreat where our principal officers will be taught on how to be able to conduct leadership in this movement, because we are fighting for Biafra for future purpose. Some principal officers like coordinators does not even know what it means to be able to handle their position accordingly, like to be able to teach their comrades who is under them what we are fighting for. Some comrades under their leadership are even clueless. They don't even know. They don't even get to understand what this movement is all about, just because the coordinator is unprepared. And
All right. I don't know if you can hear me. I think let me take it from there. Can only say kudos to your question and to you for bringing it up. Earlier on, we talked about Mazi Ikem talking about strengthening our struggle, henceforth, um, 2025 going on. And I also said that it's going to be part of what we are to do. Educating our coordinators, having regular education updates, teachings, and practices to
Okay,
ensure
yes.
that
I think I'm back. I think I'm back. And the
yeah,
question, the caller was asking, and I think he has already put that question across perfectly. If there are plans to, create some sort of educational series for
yeah,
coordinators. Mazi, we all know that there are a lot of coordinators who cannot even respond to simple questions as regard to Biafra struggle. When you ask them basic questions, they lack information. They don't have the capacity to
yeah.
actually address issues as regards to Biafra struggle.
All right.
And that is the question a lot of people are
Yes,
asking. That question, of course, is a question I would have also put across to you earlier on,
yes,
considering the fact that it is very, very vital that we upgrade our position holders
yes,
to help them, because when we help them, they will in turn help the struggle.
yes,
Are they plans? Are they plans put in
yes.
place?
Mazi, I was actually responding to that as you got disconnected.
Okay.
And though I don't know if I was coming through then, but I did say that, I had earlier on said something about it. When you asked me about Mazedism, talking about strengthening the struggle, I did. One of my responses was also educating the coordinators and getting them informed and updated and all that. Actually, primarily, it is the job of the continental reps to ensure that those under their jurisdictions are put together regularly and place them on updates and also have them educated. So I think uh, uh, without blaming any of them, because the workload has been a lot. Collectively, they are also part of the DOS. You can imagine that a whole lot of jobs are on their table as well. So all we will do is to re-energize and rekindle the spirit of education back into our coordinators wherever they are, and make sure that you know that the situation changes, that they're able to now impact the necessary also knowledge to those our members in the various units and zones, and that questions are also adequately answered. In a situation where a coordinator does not have answer for anything, nothing has gone wrong. All he can do is to tell those who are asking him question to exercise patience, that he will do what? He will come back to them. And all he needs to do is to consult his superiors for further information. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Yeah, thank you, Mazi. We have the last caller because this is going to be the last caller as we wind down
Exactly.
this program.
I agree with you. Yes.
Yes, and he have just 1 minute. Hello,
Yeah.
caller. Welcome to the program. Put your question across to Mazi Nzurumike.
Okay, so my question is just simple. Because when our GOC was on live broadcast yesterday, he said that Aro Ejimako is a contracted agent for Nigeria government. My question there, why is it that it's better that we tell him to rescue himself for anything concerning IPOB and Mazi Nzurumike Kanu, because his own mission there is just to destroy IPOB. It's not there for us. Is it not any way that the leadership we tell him to rescue himself from that case? And another thing that I want to say, this one that showed me with the rest of them, like a DSS agent, is saying that their plan now is just to be killing IPOB member and the rest.
Yeah.
What I'm suggesting there is that anybody who is involved or who wanted to eliminate us is not the kind of we saying that we are peace, so why we are going down every time. Anyone who wanted to do us is a self-determination that we have to intervene and they do the same to them. Because all these scenarios that they are using is so we don't
All
supposed
right.
to be tolerating that. Why our people is going down always.
Thank you, caller. Thank you very
Hello?
much. Thank you for that question. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yes.
Here's the
Yeah.
last caller.
Yes.
We talked about the legal issues of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and I think that issue has been overflowed as far as I'm concerned. What we should be dealing with now is the issue of the prescription that was put in place, and I think we have to continue to challenge it in court, despite knowing fully
Yes.
well that we get justice.
Yes.
Mazi, go ahead.
Mazi, thank you so much. Like that one, it has always been spoken about, and we know we worked genuinely with Ifeanyi Ejiofor and Zokome, and those are the ones this very leadership did work with very, very closely, and there's some others, some few others, uh, but I think in overall, Barrister Ejimako, in overall, has got little or nothing with this very leadership. and what he does. I think he works for the siblings of our leader, and also for our leader, because as we understood, you know, our leader contracted him, and then somehow uh, gave him some jobs to do. So we have what we can do in our capacity based on what we think on behalf of indigenous people of Biafra worldwide, and convey our position to our leader and say this is what we think. Um, but you guys saw what transpired when Honorable Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor was asked to step aside, and Ozekome as well, people who were doing a very wonderful job. By the way, they were the ones behind the discharge and acquitted pronouncement made by the courts upon which they wanted to fight on until our leader gets his final freedom. But somehow some people came in and brought up confusion. We were not there, we were not there. We're not with our leader there. So how they convince him to now change his position and eject those we think were doing a good job, we cannot tell. So that is a story for another day. Otherwise, like we said before, the prescription has not ended there. What that attempt is evil. It is illegal. What they are doing, it is stampeding on our natural freedoms, and is a slight on our intelligence as a people, and nobody should accept it. That an indigenous person of can an indigenous person of Fulani say that nobody should that he's a terrorist because he's a Fulani man? Can an average Hausa man agree that he's a terrorist because he's an indigenous Hausa man? Can an average Yoruba man say that he accepts the fact that he's a terrorist because he's a Yoruba man? No. So likewise, if you're a Biafran, you cannot accept it, and that is why we are not going to let it happen. And they can go; they owe their own mouth to make pronouncements as they want to make, just like when they illegally prescribed the indigenous people of Biafra. Those governors that did that, some of them are still in power, some of them are not in power. But some of them will live to regret, of course, what they did. But nevertheless, um, we are not accepting it, and that is why it's not a battle they're going to win. But indigenous people of Biafra will win that very battle because truth is all it takes. And upon this very truth is where we stand. And that is why I want to thank the caller for that his question. Thank you so much. Mazi
Thank
Ikem, back to you.
thank you very much, Mazi. We are already through for the day, and I think we are rounding up now. And
Yeah.
I want you to give our people your last take for today's program, and we hope to see you in the future as well.
Oh yes. I think I will always be very proud to be here with you guys. And first and foremost, you are doing a fantastic job. You and your crew, all of you who have made this very media platform and structure to flourish as it is happening today. I want to thank all of you. Those of you who are also on other platforms, Mazi Jonathan, fantastic job. Mazi Antonio Bilo, a man who has always been around as a pioneer. He's doing a fantastic job. Those of them, United States, Ike Peters, and our big brother, all of them doing a good job in America, and whole lots of people that I cannot be able to mention one by one. But I thank all of you that you are collectively doing a fantastic job. Mazo Former, the head of media, is actually also deserves a kudos. He's doing a very fantastic job. It's not easy. Mazo Former has been on this from day one, from inception. and tirelessly doing what he needs to do. So, and those of you who are also on free media doing your thing, and I will say, please be a little bit cautious, because if you're interested in the freedom of our people, you whatever you put out there, with your own data, with your own mouthpiece and everything, whatever you put out there certainly has one or little impact in what we're doing. We have to be very cautious about what we say. We have to be able to sort out what we say in order not to derail or make some negative impacts against this very, very hallowed movement. And that is very, very important. Otherwise, kudos to all of you also doing a wonderful job on your own individual platforms. And of course, Biafrans worldwide, Biafrans especially on the ground, we are always thinking of you. We are always thinking of your affairs, your well-being, and we are saying don't relent in the efforts or in agricultural area. You make sure that you don't relent in agriculture, because at the end of the day, that is where you can have an alternative to move your family forward. First and foremost, feeding is important before any other thing. If you don't feed well and the sickness comes, what is likely to happen is that your immunity cannot stand whatever sickness that comes. So make sure you have a lot of vegetables you are planting. You have a lot of vitamin giving fruits you are planting around the corner, around your houses, in the farmlands. Don't relent, don't play around with that. Anywhere you can find these seeds, make sure you produce your own. Of course, the leadership is making a compound effort to make sure that some of these products are made available, to make sure that the enemy does not have an upper hand in terms of starving our people. We are beginning to see kwashiorkor cases, and that is not a good sign. We must make sure that we are feeding. And if you have surplus, please give your neighbor. Give your neighbor. Don't say you hold it for the next day. If your neighbor is starving, we appeal to you to be kind, and because you, at the end of the day, you're not going to live alone. You need your neighbor as well. Let us be kind to our own brethren. That is very, very key. And in terms of security, please, those of you involved in criminality, you are being advised to turn around. The days are gone. The days of bamboozling our people is gone. Our people are getting back to their senses. The indigenous people of Biafra is here to stay. The DOS is here very actively, making sure that our lives and properties are being protected. We're here to make available every expertise that you need to carry you along. But we are also not leaving any stone unturned to make sure that this very Biafra, at the end of the day, at the end of the tunnel, that the light shines. Thank you so much, and God bless you all. Ndewo.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mazi, for being here with us. We appreciate your coming. We say thank you for making your time available for us. And it's also my pleasure to have you. And I want to say thank you, Biafrans, for those of you who stayed through. This was our Deputy Head of Directorate of State, Mazi Nzurumike, who gave us lectures and the education that we needed today. And it is our pleasure. We are happy to have him. I hope to always have him anytime he's available. I want to say thank you very much as we run this program to the end, and I hope we'll see you again. This is Biafra Television Europe. My name remains Mazi Ikem Patrick DK. I want to thank our crew for being part of this program, sustaining this program, and making sure that things went smoothly. Until I see you again, I want to say have a wonderful Sunday and God bless you all.
The bricks. Sunday. Oh na 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 na. Watch it out.
Watch me far away, see me far away. Shabada, tell me what you saw. I will show you what I have, because I have myself. Oh, then think say na defense. Make you watch my back. Now wait till you they see, yeah. Unless you have the sense, you go learn to pretend. Do not run away. Kind of sober than you. That is why I say. That is why I say. That is why I talk. That is why I say. That is why I say. That is why I know. Ohaneze Ndigo, how na day? I don't come to speak my mind with no delay. Let them know say una eyes clear about una way. Watch out, many things they happen in that country you dey. So some people trouble upon people every day. Even when you dey, you go talk say you know dey. I need to understand why this one about. I need to understand why this truth apart. The promise that we got and nationalize. The promise we will live and no complaints. Watch me far away. Watch me far away. See me far away. See me far away. Tell me what you saw. I will show you what I have, because I have myself. Oh, then think say na defense. Oh, make you watch my back. Now wait till you they see, yeah. Unless you have the sense, oh, you go learn to pretend. Oh, do not run away. Kind of sober than you. That is why I say. That is why I say. That is why I talk. That is why I say. That is why I say. That is why I know. Samada, cha cha cha, kick channel, boomba. See, I come back again to tell people say, now here we dey. We don't come to stay. I say no retreat, no surrender. We're living big, but no arrange. Look at the soldiers killing innocent Biafrans every day. Look at Islamists killing innocent Christians every day. It depends me, it depends me, it depends me. Chukwoki kobiama, Bateranya say maka. I know Ginaka. That is why I say. That is why I talk. That is why I know. That is why I say. That is why I talk. That is why I know. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Ikem, Umu Biafra nile, Ayisi Gabaniru, Donya Kaya Docha, Weli Feneme, Onye Naya Nejuno Yine, Chuku Kwamawaja. You are whiter than snow, Oku Kibesioku. We stand where you stand, we say no secret trial. Onyinye Chukwu Ezosika Osiki Ohamadike, no secret trial. Prophet Yahweh's young Osiki Mahamadike, Osike Jisike, Mastus, Ejike, Kole, Osike, one day Puje Bije, Sikwa, no welly feneme, no welly fenafia, no welly fenaco. Ezi one name, Victor. Chimezie Okorochukwu Igbo Network Television London Osigi Jisike na hapu gị n'azụ ụmụ Biafra niile gedi n'ụwa asigi gaba n'iru no secret trial no secret trial no secret trial no secret trial. Hey! Watch me far away, see me far away. Tell me what you saw, I will show you what I have. Because I have myself, oh, then think say na defense, oh. Make you watch my back. Now wait till you they see, yeah. Unless you have the sense, oh, you go learn to pretend, oh. Do not run away. Find us over that is why I say. That is why I say. That is why I talk. That is why I say.